Yeah, Mr. Dolan. Yeah, we're struggling right now, but I think that you give it time, and we're going to get exactly where we need to get to. Well, you let the guy before me run around like a madman, making. Yeah. No, I know the goal's to win. I know. Yes, Mr. Dolan. Yep. Okay. All right, you got it. Can't get to break. Yeah, come in.
The last save file, it's completely gone.
Gone? What do you mean gone?
The whole month of December, gone.
So everything that we did? We lost a whole month. Unfortunately. So now we have to redo an entire month? They're going to improve, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want this to be fixed.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the New York Rangers GM mode. Now, as you can see, we can't get a bounce to go our way to save our lives. Much like the New York Rangers in reality. But EA crashes as I'm getting ready to talk to Artemi Panarin. Panarin does not waive his no trade clause. And on top of that, you just saw we got the call from Mr. Dolan himself. Rebuild is off the table. Retool, but we have to make the playoffs. All right, so here we are back in January 2026. We said goodbye to 2025. That's in the rear view. Now let's move forward. As you can see on the bottom right part of your screen, Panarin is leading the team in points with 54. Now what I want to do is actually go into our team stats. So it is the bread show, which doesn't help me in any sort of negotiations at all, because if we're going to make the playoffs, we need Panarin. He has 54 points in 42 games. Trocheck is playing well, almost a point a game. That's what you want as a solid second-line center. Fox has 39 points. And then the big thing that I hate, don't get me wrong, it may not be the most important stat, but you have players that are minus 20 on your team. You have players minus 14, 12, minus 10. I mean, we have almost 5 players that are minus double digits. So it's a bad recipe. It seems like we're not great defensively. It seems like we're not scoring as much as we need to. And let's see how he's doing now. I mean, he's respectable. He's become respectable. A little bit better, actually. 18, 15, and 3. 915 save percentage. 915 save percentage. And he's given up less than 3 a game. All right, so I think my course of action here is let's get to the end of January. I really am contemplating that trade that we left the last video on. So let's get to the Olympic break. We'll see how we're doing, and then we'll make some moves. So this is interesting. The Edmonton Oilers putting Curtis Lazar on waivers. Let's take a look, because this could be a pretty interesting pickup. The 78 overall, 4th line forward. No, his defensive awareness isn't good enough for me to claim him, so we'll move on. That's a tough bounce. And Connor Sheary, get in there. Maybe I should have claimed Curtis Lazar. Maybe, that might have made sense. This might be an opportunity, though, to take a look at our AHL and see if any of the kids are ready to come up. Brandon Ottman, 77 overall, minor checking forward. I wish that he was a 4th line forward or even another forward. I'd be able to bring him up to the NHL. I'm scared to do that because he might get overwhelmed. Brett Berard, ready to go. 4th line forward. Playing extremely well in the AHL. Too good to be in the AHL. So he might be getting the call up. And Gabe Perreault is still a depth forward. We'll see how we're doing after the trade deadline. That's my target, to bring up Gabe. We'll keep him in the AHL for now. Brett Berard is going to get the call up. He's going to be our third line left winger. Add some speed, add some grit. Basically, just a better overall Connor Sheary, both in real life and in this game. So we'll bring him up, and then we'll take a look at the lines with him on the big squad. So here he is. Really nothing changes, but something that I noticed with Brett Berard is he also does not like Mike Sullivan, and I don't know why that is. Something that is promising is he would fit somewhere in the top 6. So if we end up moving Brett, there's our answer. Berard just moves up to the top 6. All right, so here we are, February 7th. We definitely came back to earth. So right now we're the 8th seed, and we're 5 points behind the Senators. So we can make the playoffs, we can miss the playoffs. I think it's time to talk to Brett again and see if he's open to a trade. I think that's the only way forward. Listen, Brett, we need to talk. For 6 years, you've created some amazing moments for the New York Rangers, but I don't know if you fit in our long-term plans. You're about to be a free agent. I want to trade you. Would you be willing to waive your no-move clause?
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
This is huge. So Artemi Panarin is open to being traded to at least 3 other teams. So now let's take a look at what teams he'd be willing to accept a deal to. Blackhawks, the Canadiens, and the Leafs. The Blackhawks wouldn't do this deal. They're not a playoff team in this universe, so the Blackhawks are off the table. Same with the Canadiens. Now the Leafs are interesting. We'd have to take some money back in this deal. All right, so here's what I'm looking at as far as a trade with the Leafs for Panarin. I think Oliver Ekman-Larsson could end up being exactly what we need on the back end. He has 21 points in 57 games, 87 offensive awareness, 87 defensive awareness. He does not fit anywhere in Mike Sullivan's scheme, but bringing in a guy like Ekman-Larsson would really improve our top 4 defense. As an 84 overall, he gives the puck away more than he takes it away by a lot, which makes me think that even though he's a two-way defenseman in this game, he's an offensive two-way defenseman. The contract is pretty good, 3 years, $3.5 million, and then the second to retain 1.25, and then 2 firsts to cover that. So I think that's, and then we bring in someone like Matias Michelli. He's a playmaker, which could also help with us generating a little bit more offense, and he can fit in the top 6. So he honestly strikes me as a similar player as a Brett Berard. So what we could do is leave Berard on the third line and then have Michelli just take Panarin's spot. And then we don't leave Berard out to dry since he's only a fourth line forward. I like this deal. So EA, what would be great is if I was able to see right here in the trade screen whether or not Michelli was a restricted free agent or a UFA at the end of the year. He does not have an extension. So let's take a look at the Maple Leafs contract and see what he's going to be when the year comes to an end. All right, so if you want to do this, you're just going to go down to view contracts, and then you're going to go to whatever team you're looking at. So in this case, let's go to the Leafs. Let's go all the way down to Michelli, and we'll see that he's an RFA. So that opens up some possibilities there. 25 years old, 83 overall. Yes, we'll be hurting a little bit offensively if we make this deal, but he is an RFA, which means if he doesn't work out going forward, we trade him at the draft, get some assets back, again, retool, and then we move forward. Same thing with Ekman-Larsson. He has a 16-team no-trade list, so that means that half the NHL I can trade him to at the draft. And again, 3.5 for someone that's going to be in your top 4D. That's pretty solid. He is 34 overall, so if he starts to drop, then we'll adjust. But I like this move. We get him for 2.5 years. So just because I think this will go through, a minor tweak that I made was I'm actually going to see if the Leafs would be willing to retain $1 million, bring Ekman-Larsson, bring OEL down to a $2.5 million defenseman, which will make his value go up also. I think that this is a good move. Let's see what the Leafs say. we probably, even though we made this deal, we probably could have gotten them to retain a little bit more. But they did accept the deal. So now let's take a look at the lines, see what we're going to be working with going forward. So here's a look at our lines. Matias Michelli slots in as our first line left winger with Miller and Zibanejad on the right wing. Then we're going to have Loff centered by Trocheck and Cooley. I think Loff needs a better defensive center, and Trocheck fits that mold. And then our third line is Radish, Parsonen, and Berard. Then on defense, nothing changes with the top pair. Gavrikov and Fox stay together. Ekman, Larson, and Schneider now play together. No plus, no minus though, so that's good. Schneider will play like an 86 overall, and OEL will play like an 84 overall. And then we have Susi and Borgen on our bottom pair. So here he is, Artemi Panarin in a Toronto Maple Leafs uniform. Still rocking that number 10. And it does sort of hurt my heart to see. I'm not going to lie. All right, so here we are, March 5th, welcoming Brett back to the Garden. First time as a Toronto Maple Leaf. We're 31, 25, and 4, and we're still holding on to that final wild card spot. So let's sim the first and the second, and then we'll jump in and see if Brett scores against his former team at MSG. Tavares and Waugh both scoring on Shesterkin in the first, no goals in the second. So let's jump in. Oh boy, here he is on his fourth NHL team, Artemi Panarin back at the Garden, rocking the iconic Toronto Maple Leafs uniform, wearing number 12. On the first line with Austin Matthews and William Nylander. Cooley breaks in and tries to force a pass across to Troch. Less than a minute left, the Rangers down by 2. We're on the power play thanks to a cross-checking penalty from Scott Lawton. Shesty is on the bench. We have the extra attacker out as well. Let's see if we can make it a 1-goal game. And that'll do it. The Rangers shut out. Can't take advantage of a late 6-on-4 power play. Joseph Woll with the shutout at the Garden. Leafs win 2-0. Artemi Panarin gets the last laugh in his return to Madison Square Garden. So the Rangers once again shut out right before the deadline. We are holding on to that final wild card spot. Just barely. We're only 4 points above the Canadiens, and the Canadiens have a game in hand. So what that means is we have to be aggressive at this trade deadline. But let me know what you think. Did I get fleeced? Was the trade enough? And let me know what you think we should do to get the Rangers back into the playoffs this season. And I'll see you in the next episode.